Namaste. My name is Vivekanand and waketechnology.com is my website. Today is 12th day of my 30-day challenge. Let me take under a minute to tell you about myself. I believe in living a simple life. I believe in thinking differently. I am proud to share my belief with Steve Jobs and Leonardo da Vinci, who said, simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication. Here's my simple way. Avoid the cowboys, work with the Indian. Let the Indian handle technology, and you live an integrated, simple life. Maybe you have lots of projects and you are struggling to find someone who can integrate and simplify. You can reach me by using the Contact Me button on my website or through my Google Plus profile. I have a special guest today, Lowell Ann from Be Your Own CEO, and I see her. I invite her to tell us about her, specifically why we should contact her, the value that she provides, and how to contact her. So, Lowell,
Well, good
namaste.
morning. Good namaste. Namaste. Good morning. It is early morning here. It's 6:30 a.m. I was quite a rush to get my meditation in this morning and get everything set up here quickly. So I know I'm not sure if I'm really here. So yes, I'm Lowell and Fulsang, and my business is called Work Style Lifestyle Consulting. I've been in that business since 1996. I've over those years I've done a combination of consulting, leadership development, and facilitation, and all that sort of thing in Canada's far wild north. And that's what led me into the work, the coaching work that I do now. I discovered that when I was delivering courses, that people needed some support so that they would apply what they were learning. And so I offered to be there for them by phone. They were in the Eastern Arctic and I was in the Western Arctic. So then I discovered that that was really what coaching was all about. And so I pursued that. And I'm now in Victoria, British Columbia, on Canada's west coast, on a beautiful island, Vancouver Island. Yeah. So my business has morphed a little bit since then. I like to work with solopreneurs or solo entrepreneurs. My background years ago was in career development, and this seems to fit together very well with that. I took up playing on Google Plus and in Hangouts probably 2 or 3 years ago now. And since then, I do have a community on Google Plus, and it's also called Being Your Own CEO. And I host a regular Tuesday morning hangout. I'm using a business hangout platform now for solo entrepreneurs, and it's run like more like a success circle, where I find a topic for us all to discuss, and we share what we know and have a few laughs. And we've interestingly enough, people who have come to come to my Hangout, eventually begin to do some work with each other. And once you get, it's part of that trust building thing, isn't it? We get to know each other really well, and people begin to do business with each other. So that's one of the side benefits, although it's not guaranteed for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Let me bring up a couple of comments from the event page. Vaibhav Gilankar says, Namaskar, sir, and Namaskar, ma'am. And it's really great to meet you too. And he then adds another comment, you have a nice smile, Lowell.
Well, thank you. I have to say that on this platform, I do have an awful lot of fun.
Yeah, it's it's face to face, and that makes it more human. And
it certainly does. Yeah, certainly does. I'm looking off to the side because I thought I had something up here that I could share with us, but I've lost it.
Oh.
Yeah. So we haven't started talking about why we're here. I guess I'll leave that to you.
Yeah. Let me do that. Yeah, both of us are part of a group that has taken up our own 30-day challenges. But let me answer the question why I'm doing this. I am doing a few things every day, and they are meditate for 45 minutes, walk for an hour, video blog for at least 15 minutes, say my affirmations before going to bed every day, and listen to sounds that are specifically meant for me to succeed in my challenge as I fall asleep. So those are the challenges, but let me answer the question why I'm doing this. Stress happens when our mind does not know how to handle situations in our lives. As I have been saying, stress is our karma. So I meditate to reduce stress, achieve self-realization, and taking on a challenge to repeat a practice for at least 30 days will form a good habit. So I am participating in a 30-day challenge, and as part of that, I need to say a few affirmations before going to bed. So I shall record them here again as well a bit later. But before that, over to you, Lowell.
What am I doing here? Pretty much the same. Vivek and I met a mutual friend, Roland, who has a site that talks about making our lives more positive. And there was a challenge there, and I felt like I wanted to both support Roland, but also very kind of fascinated by some of the messages that have come about on his Hangout. Particularly the item that I found really fascinating was this concept that I believe Shira may have introduced, was the fact that we are able to program and change our own consciousness, our own subconscious, and by using affirmations. And I found that quite fascinating. And so I'm one of these people that I don't believe anything until I've experienced it.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, here's a golden opportunity. And then when Weck said that he was going to join this challenge that Roland put out doing meditation, I thought, well, here is my golden opportunity to get back to my meditation. I've meditated off and on over the years and had let it slide. So changing habits and changing our subconscious and meditation seemed to be the right thing to do. So that's why I'm here. And I guess we had sort of committed that we would kind of support each other and
yeah,
hold each other accountable to what we said we would do.
Yeah.
And that does help, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And one thing about meditation, and you said affirmations, and it's more than just affirmations. It's what we are actually bringing into the whole challenge and affirmations and so on is actually bringing in the spirituality element. And as Dr. Wayne Dyer said, we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. It's not the other way around.
Right.
Typically, at least in the West, people believe that they sit for a meditation and then they will have a spiritual experience. And he says, no, that's wrong. It's actually the other way around. You are spiritual beings having a human experience, but you have forgotten. We all have forgotten our spiritual roots. We have forgotten that we are actually spiritual. We are actually spirits. We are actually in Sanskrit. It's also called as Atma, Atma and Paramatma and all that. It's soul, if you translate it. That we have forgotten the power of the soul, power of Atma, and the conscious mind, subconscious mind. They're all parts of that consciousness, and that's where when we meditate, we bring about those things. And then affirmations is another way of achieving the same. It's like saying you have a good ship going at a certain speed, and if the wind is in your sail, you have you reach the destination quickly. So you make everything suitable for achieving your goal. That's what all these thing is about. So that's my feeling anyway. What do you think, Lowell?
Well, it's interesting. I learned about meditation a long time ago. I've done various varieties of meditation, and basically, to begin with, I used it to solve a personal problem. And you mentioned stress early on in your presentation, and that's what it was about, was to learn how to manage the stress I had in my life. Which it certainly did help. And yeah, I've been to a number of yoga retreats over my days. I always, when I was employed full time with the government, when I was, and it was a very stressful job, by the way. I learned that instead of taking a trip around the world, that to take a part of my vacation and go to a retreat was far more beneficial to me. And those, I mean, that was all about kind of developing, waking up and developing that whole spiritual part of myself. And I count myself as a very balanced. I have very little stress in my life today. I'm you know, my life is pretty balanced, and I really, as I look back over my life, I would put spiritual development and the meditation and all of the other courses and things that I've done. I would say that's the reason. So it's not only does it develop our spirituality, our spirit part, or our soul part, or whatever term we want to use, as it's very practical as well.
Yeah, it is. As one of the videos I often watch, Sadhguru, he often says that it's stress is because we have forgotten how to keep ourselves happy. We have forgotten. We think that happiness comes from external things. We think that okay, if I buy this grand new house, I will be happy, or if I buy this red Ferrari, I will be happy, or something like that. External things. Or for youngsters, if I marry this young girl, I would be really happy. She's so beautiful, and so on and so forth. But these are all external to us. They are not really part of us. Of course, it is a human endeavor always to endeavor to be more than what we are. So Sadhguru actually says, he gives an example of, I mean, if you are made the emperor or the queen of the whole planet Earth, will you be happy? Will you be content? The answer is no. You will still look at the stars and want to conquer them.
By the way, I love his sense of humor. Yeah, his stories and his sense of humor. I thank you for sharing that link way back, weeks ago now. So I've taken the when I have a little bit of spare time, I watch one of his videos, and I mean, his work is very instructive and very useful, but it's also very enjoyable. I really enjoy his sense of humor.
Yeah, actually, he is actually hosting today happens to be Mahashivaratri, so there is a Hindu ritual that's happening. We are, as per the religion or as per the culture, we are supposed to remain awake tonight. We are not supposed to sleep. Shivaratri. The reason being, it's just before the Earth changes its axis and turns towards the sun, the part that we are now currently. Whereas for somebody in Australia, it would be the other way around. But for us, we are turning towards the sun, and that means our axis of our rotation of the Earth, the axis is slightly changing in the sense it was away from the sun, now it's towards the sun. So that means that has a lot of change happening, and the change starts today. And because of that, there is a transition period. Because of that, today is our mind is supposed to be really very active, and our energies are supposed to be high. And the belief is that if we go and sleep, we are wasting all that energy. We are saying, effectively saying, we don't want energy. Or so so the idea is we are supposed to be awake tonight. So the Sadhguru is hosting a I think he is on Hangout on Air as well.
Oh, really? Oh, that would be fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's supposed to start 6 o'clock in India, which is about 3 hours. I mean, it should have started about 3 hours ago. So,
for you.
Yeah. No, for everyone, 3 hours ago. I mean, now it's, 2.5 hours ago. Now it is nearly 3 o'clock here. So around 12:30 for me, 6 o'clock in India. It has been, the whole thing has started. So he says that we should keep meditating throughout the night and so on, specifically past midnight. He says midnight actually is the most critical moment when it's day changes and all that. So yeah, that's about Sadhguru.
Well, I admire anybody who could meditate all night, because I find my 30 minutes is challenging.
Yeah, it is. 30 minutes or 45 minutes, or I mean, whatever. It is a challenge. And one thing which I wanted to say, I nearly forgot, and was, when we actually meditate and when we try to keep our mind empty, one other thing that I have observed is that our mind will not keep quiet. Our mind starts thinking of lots of other things. But if we continue...
Isn't that what's called monkey mind?
Yeah, it is. But the continuing the practice, or attempting to meditate, attempting to keep the mind empty, the attempt, it's the attempt which counts. That has one difference I have seen is, since the mind is not going to be quiet, mind still goes on thinking something else, and you continue to do meditation. Your body is doing meditation, which means that you are slowly bringing about difference between your mind and your body and you. So there are these three things there which are there, which we often get mixed up and think they are all one and the same. They are not. When we can see these three things as three different things, then we will have, I mean, when we achieve that, we would have achieved the awakening or self-realization. But one thing in that process, as you go keep doing the practice, what I have seen is your ability to multitask increases. Because my mind is thinking something else, whereas you are, say, telling yourself, no, I should not think of anything else, I should keep the mind empty. So that itself is two things happening at the same time, because it never stops. Both of them don't stop, so they are continuous tasks that happen. So it's actually a multitask that's happening. And if you do your breathing and so on and so forth at the same time, so three things you're doing at the same time, so you are doing multitasking. And when you keep doing that, your ability to do multitask in your normal day-to-day life goes up.
Oh, I hadn't ever thought of it that way. That's interesting. Well, I certainly do. I certainly do notice a difference in my life when I'm meditating.
Mm.
The last time, one of the last times that I concentrated on meditation, I did a 10-day meditation retreat, Vipassana 10-day retreat, which is a silent retreat, and you meditate pretty much all day. There are breaks, but all morning, all afternoon, and all evening. And I would venture to say, looking back on that, that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But
you're supposed to remain silent during the entire day? How?
Yes. Silent and meditating 3 times a day. Yeah. So it was the most difficult thing I ever did, but also the best thing I've ever done. Had the most impact. Yeah. And my purpose, I knew, I was very clear when I went. I had in the work I was doing, I found that I was I loved what I was doing, and I was finding I was very upset when people were not accepting what was being taught, etc., etc. And I learned that that the only way, I mean, I knew instinctively the only way that I was going to get through this and that it would be successful would be that if I could not take any of this personally and learn how to detach from it. So I knew that I needed to know how to detach, but I did not know how. And so a colleague who had already done Vipassana suggested that I might want to look into that. And that was my intention, my motivation, and I did learn it. And it's I mean, and when a person is able to detach from, well, what Goenka calls is cravings and all, you know, desires and all of that, when you're able to detach from those things, then you're able to be a much calmer, happier person. And yeah, so I achieved what I went there for.
Vaibhav says Mahashivratri celebration is going really great in India. And he also says ability to multitask. He is experiencing it himself. So yeah. So on to the next aspect now. Affirmations, as I said before, affirmations, I keep saying them before going to bed, and listen to music from Shira Hunt. So affirmations become reality when they are repeated again and again. So here they are. I am meditating every day. I wake up every day at 5:30, brush my teeth, answer nature calls, and meditate. I am meditating every day for 45 minutes before eating my breakfast. I am divine experiencing human life. I am aware of the fact that when I say that, I have to say it with a lot of compassion. Otherwise, such an affirmation would lead to arrogance. So, compassion means love and respect for every living being, be it a plant, animal, creature, or another human being. Of course, uh, for people like me, for probably I can even say us, uh, compassion doesn't come easy. It's an effort, but that's the intention. Uh, Saying divine, everything is divine, and I am divine, experiencing human life. Uh, I am walking an hour every day, irrespective of the weather. Time at which I walk may vary, but I am walking an hour every day. I haven't walked today yet. I shall be going shortly. Um, I am achieving what I am alive for. Human life is precious, and I took birth as a human being for a reason. I remain alive for a certain purpose determined by the universe. I am yet to understand this purpose, but seeking that knowledge is what life is for. So, those are the affirmations, and it's time for me to share progress I have made so far. Yesterday I did go for a walk. Um, I woke up at 5:30 this morning and did a meditation. Um, so that is the progress. The third part that I always do every day is video log. So which is what I'm doing now. So that's about me and my progress. How about you, Lovell?
Well, I thought I would use the little trick that you showed us early on in this exercise. So I did a little presentation.
Mm-hmm.
I can find my, oh, here it is. If I can find my screen share, I'll share it with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was just my my title page.
Mm-hmm.
I purposely put my logo there because as you can see, it sort of fits part of what my affirmations are all about.
Mm-hmm.
So here are my affirmations, but now what I want to do is
probably you need to click on that hide button. Why? It's saying Google Hangout is sharing your, yeah, click on that hide. No, not that. Lower down. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
About it. So, and I thought I would just bring my notes over so I can look at them. So, so the first one is I am healthy in all aspects of my life, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, so that I may move to the next integral developmental level. And that's a bit of a shorthand for me because I mean, each one of those pieces has something. So in the physical aspect, walking for 60 minutes at least 3 times a week with my friend Robin, holding my focus on healthy eating and moderation, dropping some weight so that my knees can handle what I want to do. So those were some things that go with the physical part. The mental part is a little bit partly my life philosophy, but it's also I regard it as being a very necessary part of health, and that is just continuous lifelong learning and growing and studying and online and reading and all of those things. So the emotional part is maintaining the knowledge that life is about choice and being able to detach and be objective and maintaining my own sense of harmony. And the spiritual part is enjoying the discovery of my life purpose, because I think that our life is a journey, and the journey is to discover what our life purpose is.
Yep.
If there's something more in terms of a life purpose, I haven't discovered it yet, but I'm still seeking. So that when I say I'm healthy in all aspects of my life, that's shorthand for all of that. So the second one is I'm making a good living in my online business so that I can liberate from my line of credit. And I've recently joined a group that one of my Hangout participants, Jay, is affiliated with, and it's called Wealthy Affiliates, and it teaches you how to develop an online business. And my idea is to move toward that so that there is passive income. I like that idea of doing the work, having it continue to pay off for you after you've done the work. So that's probably the one that's taking up the most of my concentration these days. And so the third thing is I am meditating for 30 minutes every morning before my walk so that my day can accommodate the above. And I think I mentioned that I've had periods in my life where I used meditation to solve a problem. However, this time my motivation is less about problem solving and more about evolving. So that's kind of those are my 3 pieces that I talk about I think about each night as I go to bed. Yeah. So I will stop screen sharing now, wherever that is. Oh, it's hiding. Maybe I just need to go there. Do I?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. There.
Yeah, the trick is actually you need to keep them all as windows.
Oh, as tabs, you mean?
No, not tabs, as separate windows, and resize them to make them small, and you share the window, screen share the window, and when you screen share the window, that window appears full screen to whoever is watching.
So when you say a window, in other words, a separate version of Chrome, is that what you mean?
Yeah, let me show that to you.
Okay.
Let me do a screen share. Okay, what I'm doing now is screen sharing my entire screen. I am actually using Ubuntu. So and Ubuntu allows you to, when on Ubuntu, when I do a screen share, you see both the monitors. So here you are able to see two monitors. Right down the middle, you see the center partition, if you will. They are equal parts, two same size monitors. But anyway, that's not my point.
Vivek, what is Ubuntu?
Ubuntu is Linux.
Ah,
Rather than get limited by Microsoft, I
okay.
for Android, and particularly for Android development, I use Ubuntu. But anyway, this is my browser window. Okay, let me stop this screen share and start it again. As now you see the screen as you want people to see.
Mm-hmm.
But on my screen, for me, it's actually, see, this is my browser window,
Mm-hmm.
whereas this is my, oh, it's showing, it's showing you the browser window. So let me
Yes.
undo.
Okay. I see what you mean. Instead of using the tabs within Chrome, you open more than one version of the browser so that you can resize it.
Yeah, I'm doing the screen share again. You see my, this is the window
Mm-hmm.
which people can see. Now, this is a browser tab. If I pull this into the browser window, see just what happened. Just see what happened here. These are the tabs.
Mm-hmm.
These are the tabs of my window, but this is a separate tab. I can pull it out as a separate one. And if when I do the screen share, it gives me option to screen share this specific windows, or the monitor, or the entire screen. So when I want to show something like this, I share the entire screen so that you can see everything that I see. You can even see what I'm seeing here. This is my Hangout. You see the stop broadcast button there?
Yes.
And you probably, when you speak, you see yourself there on that screen. So that's my Hangout screen. So all that screen share buttons and all that are here visible. Other than that, browser and so on is here. So the point is, I am able to screen share the entire screen or a window. So with Google Slides, what you need to do is do a presentation as a window and screen share that window. And then you can resize that window. Now, if I showed you this window now, irrespective of the size of this window, I can make it as small as that, like that. But if I have shared only this window in the Hangout, people would continue to see this on full screen. So the point is, I can resize this window as small as I want, and I still have control over the rest of the screen. I can do all other things. They are still visible to me. Because you actually demonstrated the problem in a way. You found it difficult to find where is the screen share button. You were trying to find it. That was because
that's because I was looking at the wrong monitor.
Yeah, possibly wrong monitor, and often another window may cover that Hangout window. So those things happen. So if you keep them all smaller than full screen, and do the screen share just that window, rather than don't do what I am doing unless you intentionally want to. What I'm doing now is screen sharing my entire screen. Whereas if I don't screen share the entire screen, if I screen share only the window, then you would see only the window. So
what I didn't understand was I thought that all you needed to do was use different tabs rather than a separate window altogether. That was my mistake.
You can use a different tab. It gives a little less control, in the sense tabs, all the tabs within one browser window have the same size of window. They all share the same window size. Whereas if you pull it out as a separate window on its own, then you can do resize it as much as you want, and the other rest of the browser window, you can do what you need to do.
That's thank you for the lesson. And I mean, until you try something, though, I mean, you can watch something, think you've got it, but until you actually try something, or at least that's my way of learning, I guess. So until I actually try something, it doesn't. Because there, when you make the mistake, whatever the mistake is, then that's when you realize that you didn't take the whole piece in.
Exactly. That's the key. I mean, being open to, oh, I made a mistake. Yes. So what was the mistake? So
what do I need to do? I need to do that. Do it again next time, so that doesn't happen.
Do that, understand it, and then not do it again, not repeat the same mistake. So yes, that also is the trick of the day today. So I was also going to show, I can still show if you want, but I have had people say that they have lots of PowerPoint presentations, and they somehow think that Google Slides can't do what PowerPoint can do. It's a wrong notion, but and they think that it's not easy to import PowerPoint into Google Slides. They as such, they don't see the need. They said PowerPoint is there. Why do I need to learn another thing? The drawback with PowerPoint is, at least the version that I have, it doesn't allow you to show it in a window. Even if it does, it takes up the entire monitor, which means that I can't control. If I have one monitor, I can't even see the speaker notes. Even if I have two monitors, I can see the speaker notes. But then what I found was speaker notes takes one screen here.
Yes.
And the presentation takes the entire other screen. So, but that also means I have lost control of the Hangout. I can't see the Hangout screen until I come out of the presentation completely.
Yes. I certainly get that
Yeah.
in a big way. And I've been playing a lot with well, I've over the years I've done a lot of work with PowerPoint and learned to use it and liked it, but because of certain ways that I want to use it, giving some courses locally here, I realized that I needed to. It was much more efficient for me to use the Google presentation. So I've been playing with the Google presentations for a while, and I suppose that it's a little bit limited compared to all the things you can do on PowerPoint. Maybe, I don't know, but it certainly has all the things that I need.
Yeah, I don't really see any limitations as such. But one, it's not a limitation. But one thing that I've seen is that the aesthetics, the visual appearance. If you completely depend only on Google Slides, the templates or themes that Google provides, they are not that pleasing to the eye. They are a bit bland, or they're not that pleasant. But what I typically do is I have a PowerPoint presentation template.
Yeah. And then
I import that template.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Now one of the things that I have used within PowerPoint, which I don't know whether you can do in the Google presentation, I remember using some music, putting some music and making it part of the PowerPoint presentation. I haven't even looked to see if you can do that in Google presentation.
You can do that, but one thing with the Google Slides is wherever you are presenting it. If you are presenting it, say you go to a hotel or a conference room or trade show, whatever.
You're using a projector then instead of.
No. Yes, you will be using that, but the point is you still need internet access. That's the problem when you go elsewhere. If you have internet access, then Google Slides is, you can actually store them offline and store them, but you need to be aware of this aspect.
Yeah.
If you move to a place where internet access is limited or not available or whatever, then you may have that problem. If you are aware of that, if you are going to a different place, then it's better if you store the Google Slides offline.
Yeah.
Google Slides has an option to store it offline, so that even if you lose internet connectivity, you still have the slides, Google Slides with you, and you can present them without any problems. But I'm actually telling you a slightly different problem than what you explained, which is, can you put audio, video, and so on? Yes, you can. You can also do those fancy animations, the bullet points flying and coming in and dropping from the sky and exploding, all the rest. You can do all of that as well on Google Slides. The only drawback is the interface is a little bit clunky as you want to create such a presentation. But other than that, what I typically do if I am faced with a similar situation is create the presentation in PowerPoint and import it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do.
Import it into Google Slides. So,
Yeah.
so that is actually, yeah, we have covered a lot. And is there anything else you would like to add today?
Nothing other than thank you for doing what you're doing here. I think this is very creative, and it's certainly I've been following each one of your presentations. We are on day 12. And I just know perfectly well that I'm not going to give up or slide away when I can see the effort that you're doing. So I thank you for the inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you for considering me to be an inspiration. Yeah, it's one of those things where was it somebody who said that you never know how powerful you are until you discover somebody else being influenced by you, or
Yes, it's true. It's very true. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay.
So I think that the rest of the community, the rest of Roland's community, are beginning to find what you're doing quite inspirational as well. So you're having your impact, sir.
Thank you. Okay, it's a few. Yeah, I have done a trick of the day, so that actually I have done the progress, and I shall continue to do these video logs. There may or may not be guests on other days, but whether somebody watches, whether there is a guest or not, whether if there is any viewer or not, it's just incidental, or I would continue to do what I do. So, and
well, and the fact that you include a sort of a tip of the day or trick of the day, I mean, I certainly am not going to miss watching, because I've already learned a bunch of things from you. So, so I thank you for that as well.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why you see my tagline there. That is actually the tagline: integrate, simplify, life. Bring together more than one thing, different technologies, different concepts, bring them together, make them simple, and enjoy life. So
Yes.
I am concluding today's video log by saying integrate, simplify, life. Thank you.
Namaste.